Okay, we are live. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. That's it, and I'm so excited and to present and someone that's joining in my channel is my sister Farah. So welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for joining in. So we're gonna get right to it, and we're gonna get started about the whole Candace Owens of her investigating the death of Charlie Kirk, and I just wanted to do a deep dive and get my sister Farah perspective of the whole thing. You've been watching the whole investigation of Charlie Kirk of what Candace Owens been talking about, right?
Yes, I have.
Do you have any inputs and your thoughts about behind all this? You know, a lot of people saying, about Candace Owens that she's crazy, she's insane, she shouldn't be, investigating. She's investigating. She's putting more effort investigating in the death of Charlie Kirk opposed to Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk. And I just wanted to know your thoughts because I have my thoughts and my perspective of it. We all have witnessed that Charlie Kirk got assassinated in front of everyone, got shot in the neck, and very devastated, very basically messed up, honestly. And that was her friend. You know what I mean? They were best friends. They were very very close throughout the years. Now, a lot of people are saying that they wasn't really that close. They really didn't keep in touch. They probably text messages every now and then during holidays, whatever. But my thing is, how do people know? How do they know if they really kept in touch? You know what I mean? And I just wanted to get your perspective of this before I show you a video of Candace Owens calling people out because basically what she's doing, and I get where she's coming from, she's calling out the fakes. You know what I mean? The fake and phony people that when Charlie Kirk was alive, people were pressuring him, people were bullying him because he had a different stance of the Israel government, and he have a different stance of like having people on his Turning Point USA, the stuff that he's been doing, that having like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Dave Smith, and some donors did not like that, and basically putting pressure on him to tell him not to do that. So, what are your thoughts? I know I keep rambling on, so sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I think it's okay that she's asking questions. I mean, some of the stuff don't make sense. But I also think that the investigation is still ongoing and just to let it play out, there is going to be a trial. There is something called law and order. I'm sure that the investigators are not telling the public everything because, once again, even though they caught the guy, I'm pretty sure they're still, doing investigations behind the scenes. So I think her giving her input and doing, everything that she's doing, I don't see how that's helping anything. Um, what is she going to do? Arrest the person that if like, I just don't understand the purpose of it. But it's a free country, free speech. She can ask questions. I think we all are, wanting answers. But once again, the investigation, even though they caught the person, I'm pretty sure it's still ongoing. And if they release certain stuff in the public, it's going to jeopardize the case. So um, that's my thoughts. I think, I don't know, I know they were close years ago. Were they as close before he died? I don't think so, but I think they still had love for each other and etc. And yeah, so that's my take on it.
So, do you believe what the feds are telling us? Do you believe that the feds had all the information that they gathered and told the public? Like, do
No,
you
like
believe
I
that
just
Tyler is
no,
the shooter?
I don't know because the investigation is still going on. Like I said, I don't, I have no idea. You know, I watch a lot of crime shows and stuff, and they can't tell the general public everything. They put whatever
Which,
information.
right, I'm sorry to cut you off, which I get. You know what I mean? It's still ongoing, but just looking back, the text messages and what the FBI is saying, the feds are saying, the narrative doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, he was on the roof, then he dismantled the rifle, then he put the rifle together, left it in the woods, left a screwdriver. You know what I mean? So some of the stuff that the feds are saying doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. And in the footage that they show originally before they did the manhunt, excuse me, the photo of the picture does not match of Tyler Robinson at all. You know what I mean? I believe Tyler Robinson was a decoy among George Zimmerman. He was a decoy too, because who in their right mind will stand up and say, "I shot him, I shot him"? It doesn't make any sense. And everyone is panicking and frantic and trying to, get out of this situation because they're worried about if more bullets are going to fly out. And he's the only one that's standing up and saying that he did it. To me, that seems very suspicious and weird to me. On top of that, you know what I mean? And I just feel like, and like I said, and I said it in my previous videos, I don't agree with everything that Candace Owens saying, but what she is saying and what she's bringing details in this investigation makes more sense, logical sense, opposed to what the FBI is telling us, because none of it makes sense with the text messages, with the gun, not showing all the footage, the campus, the UVU campus. They have so many footage all around the campuses. Why are they not showing that? They're only showing just blurry footage, which doesn't make any sense to me. Like, to me, it seems like they're hiding something. I get it. It's still ongoing investigation, and they don't want the public to know everything. But everyone is doing their own conspiracy theories and trying to figure it out. You see people, looking at footages and pointing out things. This is what this happened and that happened, and people are just like going crazy because the feds are not telling us the whole story.
Yeah, no, I completely get that. And like I said, they don't really have to tell us the whole story yet. They're probably doing more behind the scenes. They don't really have to share. They didn't have to share anything. They didn't have to share text messages. They didn't have to, but they chose to. And once again, yes, it doesn't make sense. There are questions. I'm not saying Candace Owens is wrong about like questioning stuff. I mean, you should question stuff. Things are not adding up. Yeah, so she's not wrong in doing that. And things don't make sense.
Right. So why everyone keeps not putting pressure, but just keep like mentioning, oh, she's wrong for doing this, she's wrong for doing that. Like, she needs answer. That's her friend. Like, if something happened to you or anyone else, and I'm not getting the full story from the feds and they're lying, because the feds, they're not really trustworthy. They like to cover things up and lie, and they're not capable, in my opinion, of telling the whole truth. So my thing is, if she's willing to do it because they're not doing it, then why not? You know what I mean? Why she can't just do her investigation and figure out the truth? That's all she wants, is the truth. And she's just calling out the nonsense that people are like pretending at first to be Charlie's friend and do all these things, and then the next minute they're not doing it. You know what I mean? Basically, they put the people that putting pressure on him, and now that he's no longer here, Charlie Kirk, and now they're trying to be like, oh, nice, or he was a good friend, he was for Israel and all that stuff. And Candace said, that's not really true. You know what I mean? And on top of that, there's people from the Turning Point giving her information. You know what I mean? So it's not only her; they're giving her information so she can do her job and call out the BS that people are doing. Because the people from the Turning Point USA, they're afraid. They're afraid to speak up. So who's the only one who can actually say something? That is Candace Owens, because she has that platform, she has that voice. Because people are afraid to come up and say anything.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I think people are coming at her probably because first she's saying, she's implying, I guess, I don't know, that Israel has something to do with it, and then
But when did
now
she say that?
she I can't remember, like, because I've watched a few of her videos, but
Right.
she implied it. She did. She's implying that it had something to do with him when she mentions he had a meeting, some meeting that they had with Israel. I forgot.
The Hampton, right? The
Yeah,
Hampton.
whatever. When she mentions
Okay.
that, and there was like an argument when she mentions that they offered him, like she's implying, she's not coming out and saying, but I mean, common sense, everyone knows she's implying that Israel has something to do with it by her
But
mentioning
she
these
never
things.
mentioned Israel,
Yes,
though.
she did.
So I watched the video
But why is
of
she
her
bringing
show.
Israel up? But why is she bringing? Why? Why? What does Israel have to do
She
with
brought
it?
Israel because of Bibi, because of that letter.
But
My
what
thing
does that
is,
have to do with him being murdered? Like why bring that up? What does that have to do with him being murdered? That's my thing. Unless you're
right,
implying that they had maybe something to do with it.
right. But what I'm saying is, she never said that, and she said it too. She never said, I'm not accusing Israel because I have no proof.
But you're
That's
not
what she said
answering
in
my
her words.
question. Why
What is the
why
question?
bring up Israel in his murder case? Like, what's the
She
point?
brought it up. Well, okay, she brought it up because he went on Fox News and mentioned this letter that Charlie Kirk wrote to him.
Okay.
Bibi,
What does that do
Bibi
with him
was
being murdered? What does that have to do with him?
well, let me finish. She was saying that Bibi inserted himself, said, "Oh, Charlie Kirk wrote me this letter, and he's saying that he was for pro-Israel." Okay, he fully did not explain the full detail of the letter, just half of it. And she's saying, Candace Owens saying, "Why would you do that? That's just weird. You know, the man just got assassinated. Why are you going on Fox News and saying that?" All he could have said, "My condolences to the Kirk's family. I wish them well, and then I'll be praying for them." But no, he mentioned the letter. To me, that seems weird. Which he should be at the time before the ceasefire. He should be worrying about his country and his people. Why he inserting himself and going on Fox News and explaining this letter that Charlie Kirk wrote? That's what she was saying. But she did imply, Candace always implied that she doesn't know who shot Charlie Kirk. She don't have any proof of that. You know what I mean? That's the impression that I got from her. But I guess people got different interpretation of what she's saying because she's very good at using her words very carefully and very strategically. But I did not get the sense that she said, and she said it multiple times, she's not accusing Israel because there's no proof of that to back up her claim. So I don't know what people have different takes in of her clip, and I wish I would have brought it up and showed it to you guys so we can see what she was saying. But that's not the impression that I got from her. But you said that you got a different. You said that she said it.
I didn't say she said it. I said she's
Okay.
implying by her, because I mean, you still didn't answer my question, which is fine. Like, I understand what was the point of him bringing up the letter. He had a war going on, but what does that have to do with allegedly Tyler, whatever his name is, shooting Charlie? What does that have to do with anything? Like, why bring that up in his murder? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I get that
Right.
question. Like, why is Israel? I mean, why is how do you say his name? I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
BB, yeah,
Yeah.
BB, yeah.
Why? It's fine to question that. Why is he acting like him and Charlie were like best friends? Okay, cool. But since you're investigating his murder, trying to figure out what's going on, why are you bringing that part up unless you feel like there's some tie, there's something related to his murder that's tied into BB? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, like,
Yeah.
I don't understand the point in her investigation of it just mentioning Israel. What is Israel? Because no one thought Israel had it. Like, no, when Charlie Kirk got assassinated, everyone thought it was someone from the left, someone that didn't. No one thought Israel. No one until she mentioned Israel, and and later on, because when she first mentioned Israel, in my opinion, she was implying, once again, she didn't straight out say Israel did it, but she was implying, hinting, whatever, that maybe Israel has something to do with it because he was backtracking from his support from Israel. She was implying that.
Right.
Then
Right.
2 videos later, she backtracked and said, I don't know why people are saying that I said, I never said it. Yeah, you never straight out and said it, but you're implying, because once again,
Right.
when Charlie Kirk was murdered, no one thought Israel. No one mentioned, no, and I get it.
Right.
BB came out with his condolences, whatever. Like, who cares? Who cares if he lied about the context of the letter? Once again, in my opinion, what does that have to do with him being murdered? Maybe he's just a liar.
Nothing, actually.
Nothing. So
Right.
why bring it up?
Right. Nothing. Right. Nothing. Because I can't stand him, and I don't trust him. And in my opinion, I don't think he's one of these
Fine,
people.
but you're not
Right.
gonna tie him in with Charlie Kirk's murder because you don't like him.
No, I agree. I agree.
So-
I just feel like Candace Owens was applying that meeting in the Hamptons that, when he, and again, we were not there, but Candace Owens was saying that, in that meeting at that Hampton, that some of the donors were putting pressure on him because he was having a different stance of, pro-Israel, and how he was going to turn his back on them. And then some of the people didn't like that. And, the bottom line is Charlie Kirk felt threatened. He felt pressured, okay, of a lot of certain things. And he didn't like that. You know what I mean? He was a founder of Turning Point. He started it from nothing, and now it's just like booming up. And he had donors supporting him. And now, because he had a different stance when he was alive, some of the donors didn't like that. Basically, they were going to back down and pull out and take the money, which that's fine. You know what I mean? If donors want to do that, that's their right and that's their prerogative, because that's their money. But just to put pressure on someone and force someone and tell the person, oh, you cannot talk to this person, or this person can't be on your platform or whatever, and if they do, I'm going to take money. To me, that's just wrong. You know what I mean? It's just wrong. It's just immoral, and you shouldn't be like threatening or blackmail or try to put pressure on someone because they want to have other people on his program. And that's what Candace Owens was trying to point out. But let me just show you a clipping of Candace Owens calling out people from Turning Point USA, among other people, about the whole Charlie Kirk. So take a listen. See if I can add this in.
To issue a very clean statement saying that I am lying if this is not true. About 48 hours before Charlie Kirk died, Charlie informed people at Turning Point, as well as Jewish donors and a rabbi, that he had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause outright, okay? Charlie was done. He said it explicitly, that he refused to be bullied anymore by the Jewish donors. Can you guys answer? Did he express that? Did he also express that he wanted to bring me, Candace Owens, back because he was standing up for himself? And then did he, just 48 hours later, conveniently catch a bullet to the throat before our onstage reunion could happen? It's a yes or a no. Explicitly, I want to hear from Turning Point USA that I'm lying about that. I want you to say no, it was just, he was feeling a little bit of pressure. No, I want you to literally answer what I have just said. It either happened or it didn't. I'm either making it all up or it happened exactly as I'm saying. And while we're at it, may I ask, what is the name of the Jewish donor who sponsored the Hamptons weekend? Okay. And to Pastor Rob McCoy, were there any LLCs that you or your son were being paid through that sat outside of Turning Point? I'm asking that question genuinely. Yeah, I'm putting the fire here right at the feet of Turning Point because I am disgusted. I am genuinely disgusted. I am looking around and wondering whether Charlie's entire life was the Truman Show. None of you guys are behaving in the way that you should be behaving, okay? There is no way you are letting these lies fly unless, as I am hearing, unless it is true that there was a big payday that was on the line. And if Charlie radically stated that he was done with Israel, if Charlie said he had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause because of, and I quote, Jewish donors, the behavior of Jewish donors, if he said that, yes or no, well then, I don't know, maybe some people didn't want to take that risk that he was going to, become Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson at Turning Point USA with so much presence across college campuses. Maybe they didn't want to take the chance. You see, I'm just one person, so it's easy to just try to cancel my life and lie on me every second of every day. But Turning Point USA, I think, got a little bit bigger than Charlie, and I'm no longer going to allow this lie in this narrative. So answer the questions, yes or no.
Thoughts?
That video just proved my point. She said that he was getting pressure from the donors, Jewish donors. He was going to abandon his pro-Israel cause. And then within 48 hours, he caught a bullet. She's implying that Israel had something to do with it. That proved my point, that video. She didn't say it, but she's implying that they have something to do with it. So, yeah. I don't know.
To be honest, I got a different take from that because, yes, I understand what you're saying, but I feel like she was like talking about the Jewish donors who were putting pressure on him, that the Jewish donors had something to do with the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Same difference. Jewish, Israel. I mean, that's what I mean. That's what I meant.
I don't think she was saying that Bibi. I don't think she was saying that Bibi had something to do with it. I feel like she was implying that the donors from the people that were donating for Turning Point USA had something to do with it.
Yeah, they're Jewish. They're part of Israel. It's the same thing. Israel, Jewish.
Right. I know it's the same thing, but what I'm saying is that it's not like Candace Owens said Bibi had like his people from, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's the take that I got from this video and from what she was saying. But I get what you're saying, where she's coming from that. Where you coming from? Excuse me, from when you said that. But I got a different take from that. But we can agree to disagree about that. But a lot of people saying that there was no proof of that because it was just Candace's words against other people. But like I said in the beginning, people from the Turning Point were telling her information, what's been going on behind the scenes. You get what I'm saying? So there's people inside knew a lot of stuff that was going on when Charlie Kirk was alive, and they were doing some really shady stuff. And now that Charlie Kirk is no longer here and he's dead, they're giving Candace Owens some information that maybe Candace Owens was not aware of, that she's trying to get the truth out. And that's all she wants at the end of the day. Don't we all want that? Don't we all want to know what happened and what was the motive of the whole point of Charlie Kirk assassination? That's the real factor here. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to blame Candace Owens for this and that, trying to bankrupt her, trying to call her lies, she's insane, she's crazy. You all want to know the truth. And what is the problem not getting the truth? That's the thing I don't understand. We all want the same thing. We all want the same goals. We all want to know what happens to the real shooter, because I believe that Tyler Robinson was not the shooter. He's not. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, I don't believe the Fed's narrative, the Fed's lying. I'm going to be quite honest with you, Farah. I have no faith in our government because they tend to lie so much that they're not capable of telling the truth. They don't even know what the truth is, okay? At the end of the day, we are dealing with a spiritual warfare, Farah, okay? We are dealing with between good and evil. It has nothing to do with left and right, red and blue. This is what we're dealing with in our country right now. And I just don't understand why we can't try to seek and get the truth and get to the bottom of it. I don't know what's the whole cover up. I get it, ongoing investigation. The feds can't tell us everything. I get that, but this whole narrative and then the text message between Robinson and Lance, no 20-year-old would text each other like that. I'm sorry. No gay lover would never text each other like that. That's from AI, okay? And they messed up. The feds messed up, and now they're trying to backtrack and try to clear everything up so they can put the same narrative what Candace Owens is saying, because Candace's narrative is more efficient and makes more sense opposed to the Fed's narrative, because nothing is mapping right what they're saying. Okay, and I've read the text messages multiple times. I gathered I did my research and gathered information, and nothing's making sense. And that's why the feds are not saying anything, because what can they say? And I guarantee you this: there won't be no trial. You see, there's not going to be a trial. What they're going to do with that kid, they're going to make him disappear, or they're going to make it look like it was a suicide. Those are two options for that kid. He's not going to talk, and there's not going to be a trial. Because at the end of the day, Farah, he didn't confess. He didn't confess. They didn't find a murder weapon on him. They only found a letter that they planted in that house. So there's no basically they don't have any evidence against this kid at all. He's not saying anything. I don't know. I believe he has a
That's
lawyer.
not true. If I saw he had his date, he wasn't in there, but his lawyers and the defense
Right.
lawyer had like a hearing or whatever.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
think either it was a defense or the prosecution. One of them was like, was telling the judge, we need some time because there's like to go through, like there's like a mountain of evidence that we're gonna have to like go through. So I think they do have a lot of evidence, or they wouldn't have said that.
Yeah, evidence. Okay, but he
I
never
don't-
confessed. That's the thing. He
I
never
don't know.
confessed.
Yeah.
No, it's true. He never confessed because as soon as he turned himself in, he never said anything. He stood quiet. He never confessed. So if there's no confession, what do they have? Yes, they say that they have evidence that they're trying to create so it can stack against him. You know what I mean? I just feel like as a Christian, it's very wrong to accuse someone of something that they didn't do. Now, with that being said, was he involved? Absolutely. Does he have some type of part in this? Absolutely. Just like George Zimmerman, he does. Just like Tyler Robinson and Lance, absolutely. But was he the shooter? No. I'm totally convinced with the shadow of the doubt, Farrah, he was not the shooter at all. There's no way. But that's what the feds are saying that he is. But I want to show you the receipt that Candace Owens was talking about when I showed you the first clipping of Candace Owens when he said that when she said that donors were pressuring Charlie. Then now she came with receipts, and then when she came with the receipts, everyone thought they were fake, that she fabricated that. But then I don't know if you know this gentleman, and
right,
he seen it. He confirmed it was authentic. So basically, those text messages among those 9 people, someone leaked those text messages to Candace Owens. You get what I'm saying? So she didn't even have the text messages originally until someone texted to her. And now everyone is like, before people were saying, oh, they're fake, it's not real. What's the point if it is real? That shows what she was saying originally, that he felt pressure. He felt pressure. So people don't want to hear or see the truth. They just want to like ignore it and just pretend that nothing happened and let the feds do their job. And again, like you said, it's okay to ask questions, especially if it doesn't make any sense. But when you ask questions, Farrah, people seem like you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Why are you asking the question? Just shut your mouth and let the feds do their own ongoing investigation. Just wait it out. Why should we wait it out? We've been waiting out for JFK, even though we wasn't born in during his assassination. We still don't know who killed him. Martin Luther King, we still don't know who shot him. You get what I'm saying? Jeffrey Epstein, how long that's been going on? And they have the proof. They have the proof of who was behind the Jeffrey Epstein. I know I'm going on a different topic here, but my whole point of all this, they know and they refuse to release the truth. But let me show you the video of Candace Owens presenting the receipts.
Bullying him, and I am now going to present you proof of what I am saying. This is an actual group chat, which happened 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. There were 9 people in total on this chat, including Charlie and Rob McCoy. I'm going to protect the names of the other 7 for now. To be clear, I might actually release a name every day this week, but I want to show you this because suffice it to say, Rob McCoy was on this text thread, and I think it helps contextualize him as a person, in my view, that he would attack me for telling the truth about the pressure that he was facing. Take a look. So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, ugh. Charlie writes, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. And somebody writes, a donor writes, please do not invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term. In my opinion, like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe. So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit, and he did not back down, not in that Hamptons meeting, which they're all lying about, nor in this text thread. I'm not going to reveal the names of the other 7. Actually, you know what? I disagree with myself 4 seconds ago. Let's just throw in Josh Hammer for funsies. He's on this chat, okay? So what are we to make of that? Okay, now that I'm showing you this and showing to you that the conversations were real, I want you to reflect, and it took me a lot of patience to allow the lies that were being woven and the misrepresentations of people that were pretending that I was just, high on lying about Charlie and the pressure he was under, the attacks that not just me, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly faced for trying to stand up and tell the truth about what Charlie was actually going through. Why are you hearing it, though, from me and Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly? Isn't that weird? You got people that are hosting a show. Have they, in like one honorable thing, come out and said, like, you know what? F a couple of these donors who made his life a living hell over the last couple of weeks. Why haven't they done that? Also a rabbi in that chat. Like, why hasn't anybody made that move to at least say, to vindicate what I have been saying about what he was going through? That registers to me as very suspicious. I'm going to frankly say that. It's suspicious to me.
Okay. So thoughts? I agree with her. You know what I mean? Like, and she said it in her previous video. Now, Candace Owens, she's strong. She doesn't need people to defend her. But my thing is, when she present proof to back up her claim, I just don't understand why people are not vindicating, okay, Candace Owens was right. Like, she was right what she's saying. And people don't want to do that because they have that so much of ego or pride, and because they can't stand her. They can't stand her, they don't like her, which I get. You may not like her, you may not agree with everything that she has to say, but at the end of the day, this woman is trying to seek justice and truth for her best friend, who was assassinated, who was shot in the neck. You get what I'm saying? And my thing is, and that's the question that she's asking, and I'm asking too. Why is it the people from the Turning Point USA not saying anything or vindicating what she's saying is true? It's all, at the end of the day, it's all about money. It's all about money and donors and profits and stuff like that to keep this business going, basically. That's what it is. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on that, to be honest. Okay, he was being pressured. Okay, what does that mean? He was being pressured, like he was being pressured by Jewish donors and
because they didn't want her, because he was planning on having her back.
Okay.
One of his programs, and they didn't want that because with Tucker Carlson.
So.
Go ahead.
Okay, so then what does that mean then?
Basically,
you know
what are you saying? What are you saying?
Like by her, I'm just saying by her bringing that up, what is that? Like what's? I don't know.
You saying what proves her saying that?
No, I'm saying basically, like go ahead.
Basically, what she's saying is Tucker Carlson. He's huge. You know what I mean? He has a wow audience. Okay, and he says he talks about a lot of things, and some people can't stand Tucker Carlson. People don't like Candace Owens as well. So what she's saying is that if Charlie Kirk was planning on bringing her back, because she was originally from Turning Point from the get-go, okay, that it wouldn't look good for Charlie Kirk's business, okay, because
so they killed him because of that.
Yes, she didn't say that. A lot of donors were pulling. No, I don't know. I'm just saying that a lot of donors were pulling out, even though that was their money. They have every right to pull out because that's their money. They're donating. Basically, they were like saying, well, if you're going to have her and Tucker Carlson on your next program, then we're going to take our funds and we're not going to give you any. We're not going to donate. But if you don't put them back, then we're going to continue. You get what I'm saying? Basically, do as I say and not as I do. You know what I mean? So basically, if you do this, we give you more money. But if you don't do that, then we're going to pull the money and you're not going to get any donors from us. I don't like that. And that's what Charlie Kirk was saying. He don't like that. Go ahead.
That just goes back to my original thing. What does that have to do with him being murdered? What does that have to do with him being murdered? I'm asking, like, what do you think?
What I think?
What is all that, the two videos that you showed me and the donors and the pressure and like, what do you, like, how do you think that ties in to his murder?
I feel like in my opinion, I feel like that some people in the turning point in the finance, I feel like some of them were invested in doing something very shady that they shouldn't have been doing. And I feel like Charlie Kirk, when he was alive, he was going to investigate because he was going to do this whole Doge thing to find out where the money was going, because there was too much money coming in that it shouldn't been. So he was doing trying to do his own investigation about that. And I just feel like, in my opinion, someone from the inside made some certain deals. Again, I don't know this. I have no proof. This is just my thoughts and my opinion about this, that they were doing some shady stuff behind Charlie's back and getting involved in things that they shouldn't be involved in. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like Charlie Kirk, he had people that he trusted and probably betrayed him. You get what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's all about money. Now, again, I don't know. That's a really excellent question of what ties in with that. But I just feel like it's a combination of both. Again, we still don't know who's the real shooter. We still don't know the motive. But I just feel like it just ties in to everything. You know what I mean? Again, we still don't know what really happened, and everything is still being investigating, and everything's still gathering all the information. But at the end of the day, what she's implying, Candace Owens, saying that some of the people that Charlie Kirk know, they were really not his friends. I feel like they were just being fake friends, in my opinion, again. And they were just, 1 minute they were one way with him, and now that he's no longer here, now they're saying that, oh, he's my best friend. We love Charlie Kirk, blah, 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 when they were probably doing some shady stuff behind his back when he was alive. And he was very fearful because, again, Candace Owens said he told 3 people they tried to I feel like they are trying to kill me. Who's they? And that's Charlie Kirk's words, that he told 3 people, and those 3 people told Candace Owens they spoke to her off record. So who is they? So apparently when he was alive, he felt threatened that someone was going to harm him. That's where I'm getting at. But I just want to show you this last video because I know you have to go, and I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. And I just wanted to get your opinion about the whole life insurance with Candace Owens, the kill switch.
The what?
She did she set up a life insurance policy and a kill switch. I don't know if you know what a kill switch is. Okay, so basically a kill switch is if anything happens to her, because it seemed like apparently someone had been telling her that she's getting threats, her and Tucker Carlson, that people are coming after her because she's exposing a lot of things that certain people do not like. So basically, if anything happens to her because she gathered all her information, everything that she needed, and she gave it to 8 people, okay? We don't know. Yeah, you heard that. She mentioned certain names, but we don't know. God forbid if something happens to her, we don't know who have those information. So basically, long story short, if anything happens to her, all the stuff is going to be released. Videos, text messages, names, you name it, things are going to be exposed. And I have to say, I like that. This is what I'm saying. She's 10 steps ahead of everyone. And my thing is too, and I said in my previous video, why would she say all this? Let's play devil advocates here. Let's say she's lying. Okay, let's say she's lying about everything that she's been saying throughout her show. Why would she do that? What's the game? What's her purpose of lying? That I'm asking the viewers of this. What does she got to lose if she's lying? Why would she do this? You know what I mean? Everything that she investigated in the past, for example, COVID, BLM movement. What else I can mention? I don't know if you follow the Brigitte Macron, even though they're suing her. Everything that she mentioned have come to pass and they became true. So my thing is, why would she be lying about everything? Why would she risk that? It would be bad business for her. It would be a bad reputation for her. People would not follow her. She would be discredited for everything. You get what I'm saying? So by her lying, what would be the end game for her lying?
I don't think anybody thinks she's lying. I don't think
No,
she's lying.
people do. So because I've
Oh,
been watching other videos, and people say that she's making it up. She has lost her mind. She's crazy. She's doing this for clicks and likes because now she's more popular than ever to get more attention. And to me, let's say she was lying. Why would she do that though? Why? What would be her whole purpose? Everything that she's been saying from start to finish. Why would she lie? And I'm asking the viewers, I'm asking everyone, why would she lie? All she wants is the truth. And that's like the devil. You know what I mean? The devil don't want us to want things to come out. The devil likes to lie, steal, and kill. Everything is in the dark, and all she's trying to do, and everyone else, is trying to bring things to the light. We want truth. We want transparency. And it seems like when you tell the truth, they try to kill you. They try to silence your speech just like they did with Charlie Kirk and among other people. But when you lie, they leave you alone. When you keep your mouth shut, they leave you alone. But why is that? That's the question that we should be asking. When we tell the truth, they try to silence her. They try to bankrupt her. They try to take everything that she's worked so hard for. They try to want to kill her. Why is that? Why would you try to harm someone if they're just talking on their podcast? Leave her alone. Let her speak. Let her investigate. She's not harming anyone. The woman's not dumb. She has lawyers. She knows what she's saying. She knows what she's doing. Because if she make any false accusation or a defamation, she's going to be sued. She knows this. That's why I don't understand why people think that she's lying. She'd be sued already. You get what I'm saying? Right away. But why they're not doing that? Except for that one man that she mentioned, Josh Hammer, he's planning on suing her. I wonder why. But anyway, last video that I want to share with you before you go, because I know you have to go and I don't want to keep you up. Hold you up, excuse me. So this is the last video of her mentioning her life insurance, just to protect herself and her family. And I have to say, I love it, because I would have done exactly the same thing. It's good to be 10 steps ahead. Make sure you have all your ducks in a row, just in case, something happens. But you know what? God is good at the end of the day. God is good. God is great. He protects everyone that he loves, and everything happens for a reason, So take a listen.
And sent around a life insurance policy of sorts, a package rather, to people that I trust, a package filled with.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, there was a delay.
Package.
Okay. Well, hold on.
I
love technology.
This week and sent around a life insurance policy of sorts, a package rather, to people that I trust, a package filled with text messages, emails, private communications, videos, and private legal documents. So if anything happens to me, you guys will know exactly who it is that has been making my life a living hell over the past couple of years. People that are trying to bankrupt me, trying to bankrupt me and my family, that are threatening us, to sue us. Everything that Kanye said was so real, okay? I'm now at that point where you look back and you go, man, Kanye was right. He was really saying something about what it takes to leave, to fight for custody of your own soul. Just leave me alone. Let me say what I believe and you say what you believe. Fight fair. Why do you always have to make this threat to bankrupt people? And I want you to know that those people, if anything happens to me, they have my explicit permission to release it all, detonate it all, expose all of these people in politics and in the movement who behave like this behind the scenes. It's necessary. And I highly recommend every single person that is out there, that has a platform and is going through things and is scared, do the same.
That's it. Thoughts before I let you go?
I mean, if she feels like her life is at risk, that's smart.
Yeah, because people are threatening her for telling the truth, for investigating. Who does that? That's what I'm saying. Who does that? It doesn't make any sense. Like she said in her own words, leave her alone. Let her investigate. You know what I mean? And lastly, everyone agrees differently, Farrah, okay? If it was me, anything happened to you or mommy or daddy, whatever, I will seek vengeance meaning that I'm going to get to the bottom of the truth, what happened to you. If what the police officer or the feds or whoever is telling me something about your murder and it doesn't make any sense to me, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to the bottom of the truth. Vengeance, not meaning that I'm going to go and harm someone. Vengeance that I'm going to do my investigation and figure out what the hell happened to you. And that's all she's trying to do. What the hell happened to Charlie Kirk? Why did it happen to him? That's it. Let her be, because we can't trust the feds. She doesn't trust the feds. So instead, with her small team, among other people that's helping her, other journalists and mom sleuths on TikTok and everyone else, trying to help her and gather information, let her be. You know what I mean? And then whatever she got, it's up to the feds if they're willing to get that information and seek justice, the real justice. Because to me, it's just sick. It's sick to my stomach that they would actually have this kid be executed for something that he didn't do. As a Christian, I'm not okay with that. I don't think people from the Turning Point, and they're Christians too, are okay with that. You know what I mean? Does he have some type of involvement? Like I said, yes. But where are the real shooters? Shouldn't they be punished? Should they be justice for that? I don't get it. Again, I don't get it. But like I said, like you said, excuse me, the investigation is still ongoing. We will find out more if we ever will find out more. I'm just going to tell you this and just remember this conversation. There will not be a trial, okay? They're going to make that kid disappear just like they made his lover, Lance, disappear because they can't find him. He's nowhere to be found. So he's probably in witness protection or God knows where. George, the other pervert guy, we don't know where he's at. He's not speaking. So I don't know. It's just a lot of uncertainty. And I guess we're going to find out more of what's going to happen. And the only person that we can rely on is Candace Owens because she's the only one that's investigating it. She's the only one that's asking the questions among the military men too that I've been seeing on TikToks who are experienced in bullets and forensics and all that other stuff. You get what I'm saying? Other than that, no one else is speaking. No one else is talking. And it's just sad because at the end of the day, we all want to know the truth. We all really want to know what really happened to Charlie Kirk on 9/10. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Again, thank you so much for joining in. And I know with your busy schedule, I just appreciate it. I really appreciate you taking the time off your busy schedule to join in. And of course. And I hope you come back and I didn't bore you too much with my rantic because I know I can go on and on and on.
No, you're good.
All right. Thank you so much, you guys. And thank you so much for watching. That's it. And I will see you guys next time. Take care and God bless.
Bye.